points, and thank you very much for watching Newsnight. Laura Coates Live starts right now.
Here we go, the room where it is happening. President Trump, President Xi, currently face-to-face neutral territory in South Korea. At stake is the fate of the trade war that has put the U.S. economy and, frankly, the entire world on a roller coaster ride that just doesn't seem to end. Not good indeed, because he has time on his side. Trump, not so much. Look at your calendars. In exactly 1 week from today, it's their turn. The United States Supreme Court to consider whether Trump's tariffs are even legal. And you can guarantee that Xi's team knows the date, knows the court, and is going to be paying attention. Welcome. This is a night we've all been waiting to see what's going to happen. I'm sure we'll get some readout shortly. But you have argued that Trump lost the trade war before we even saw that handshake tonight. Why?
Well, look, I mean, for starters, Trump did have legitimate reasons to press China on trade, aside from the fact that China often does trade in ways that are illegitimate and unfair. I mean, the fentanyl issue, which Trump has emphasized, is very real. 250,000 Americans have died from overdoses over the last 4 years from fentanyl. From fentanyl. But the way he went about it ended up undermining his own power, his ability to bring about change. And, you know, in effect, Laura, he had his tariffs, which were somewhat weak for the legal reasons that you've mentioned and may be overturned. But he then induced Xi Jinping to weaponize the rare earth mineral exports that previously China has talked about weaponizing, has on rare occasions weaponized, but he really induced them to use that as a major part of their leverage, and it worked. Well, look, she has great America watchers, and you know, he sent his daughter to study in the U.S. He knows America very well, and he understands Trump's strengths and vulnerabilities. And he recognizes the fact that the courts may overturn Trump's ability to impose those tariffs. He understands the political pressures on President Trump to get, you know, purchases of soybeans for American farmers. And he recognizes also that there is political pressure on Trump for rapid results in a way that there is not pressure on Xi Jinping. You know, Xi Jinping has strategic patience. He can, his people can be a little upset for a while, and if you're a dictator, that doesn't really matter. And so the upshot, I think, is that I think he probably wants a deal, but he wants to maintain leverage in that deal. And one of the things that Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has talked about is some kind of a deal in which there is a 1-year suspension of certain controls on rare earth exports. And so I think President Trump would count that as a win. Look, we've got rare earths flowing again. But to me, you know, boy, that just underscores that this sword of Damocles will be hanging over us, and it gives, you know, President Xi leverage over everything that we're going to be doing. Every time we talk about an arms sale to Taiwan or sending ships through the South China Sea, you know, some of those rare earths may slow down, and a few automobile factories in the U.S. might find that they can't get those parts. So